The WVVA Summer Tour makes its final stop in Raleigh County as this program not that long ago looked to be on the up and up, but after a few underwhelming seasons of late, the team hopes to climb back to the top in 2024. Introducing the Liberty Raiders. It's now back-to-back 2-8 finishes for the Liberty Raiders for a program that looked on the rise after back-to-back playoff appearances in 2020 and 21, but they're hoping the team can put the work in to climb back to the summit.
Everybody wants to win, but it seems like here lately, a lot of people don't want to do what you're supposed to do to win. And sometimes you got to go through losses. You know, this is high school football. You're going to have peaks. You're going to have valleys. And, you know, the last 2 years is one of those valleys, and we're looking to get to back to the peak of the mountain.
The Raiders are hoping, though, to build and learn from the past 2 seasons to turn things around.
So these kids that's been on both of those 2 and 8s, they're 2 years older now. This team's looking for that motivation to get over that hump. You know, we played in a lot of games last year that was pretty close. That we felt that we played pretty well and was just inexperienced. So we're looking to compete.
As the team hopes to change its work ethic in all phases of the game.
I think everybody just needs to work together, work hard in the weight room, up here on the field, of course, and just everybody needs to fly around and make plays.
And that work ethic shift starts in the aforementioned weight room.
We're in there as much as we can be, and, you know, as many people are in there as we can have, and it's just a progress of getting stronger and stronger week by week.
As this year's Raiders team will rely heavily on the strongest guys on the team in the offensive line, which they hope will bring them to the promised land.
Our linemen's better, stronger. I think we'll perform a lot better this year.
And the line will really just carry us as far as we need to go.
This year's offensive line will look to protect freshman quarterback Jackson Workman, son of now 8-year head coach Mark Workman, who has been putting in the work even before he joined the team this year.
He's a young pup, and he's kind of been through in the fire. He's really knowledgeable. That's one of his best attributes right now, is just been knowledgeable of the game of football.
Liberty hopes that if things click on all cylinders, the 2024 Raiders team will reach the top of the Mountain State.
I'm hoping that it can get to Charleston, and I see potential in it, but we're going to take it week by week.